Welcome everyone. In this episode, we are discussing health coaching, and we have a great guest for this episode. Our guest has worked as health coach for 25 years in Copenhagen, Denmark, and she also owns her own gym. And we will have interesting discussions about health coaching and owning a gym. Please welcome Lotte Arndal. Great to have you, Lotte.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, super nice to have you. And maybe we could start about your personal journey. How did you get to this point in life, professionally and personally?
Yeah. Yeah, I was, to start from the beginning, I was born in the countryside. It's like physically, activity has been a part of my life since I was little, just normal activity. And then I started studying, and I was studying international business at university. Also studied economics in London. And I soon found out, it was through 4 years, I think, that maybe I should have studied medicine instead. And I was quite far at that point. And then I did a master in human resource. And that's also for where I have all this psychology and being able, good at speaking people and analyzing people's lifestyles from my human resource master degree. And then I studied physiotherapy and personal training after that. And also did like a minor nutrition course. So if you ask my parents, I never had a real job because they think, oh, why are you not working as like a consultant or so? But then besides my studies at university, I started because I was doing a lot of sports myself and I was starting doing the personal training. So I actually started studying physiotherapy and training while still at the business university. And then I started a company and I got a lot of clients, and that's why I didn't get a real job. And that's 25 years ago. Yes.
Yeah.
So I really think what is unique from my perspective is the combination of my academic background, because a lot of the personal training and nutrition counseling is what I find is not like valid and not scientific. You know, 1 week you can eat protein and next week you're not allowed to eat bread. And so my profile and company is really focused, and our brand is that it's scientific. If you
Yeah.
understand. So it's not like this week we only eat bread and next week we only eat protein. And yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the
No,
brand.
I think it's very interesting. And you said that you did international business, human resources, physiotherapy, personal training. So now being a gym owner, doing health coaching, I assume you can kind of nicely combine all this
Yes, it's
experience.
definitely a
Yeah.
combination. Yes. And when I'm trying to improve our consultation and health, I'm looking at a lot of studies and have some of my employees to find in new studies on nutrition and activity and so on. So even though I don't have like a master in sports or medicine, I think my background from economics makes me able to sort out what is up and down in this topics. And there's so much out there that confuses people. So that's my brand, to make people not confused.
Yeah. I think the problem is often
Yeah,
that there's so many trendy things, and with the trendy things you can
exactly.
make
Yeah.
money, you can get attention when you offer something
Yes.
new, and that
Yes.
confuses people and makes it more
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. And there's so many new buzzwords all the time, and I hate buzzwords.
Yeah.
Longevity, biohacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and sometimes it's just you can be healthy, just like eating normal food in normal portions and keep normal active. So
Yeah.
yes, that's what I'm really trying. My purpose of the way I help other people is to make it simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be difficult, it has to be simple.
Yeah.
And trying to help them make a new normal. Not sometimes I really think some people making money on health is taking people like out of balance to another point of out of balance, because it's too extreme. Have to work out every day, or you're not allowed to ever eat bread, or I think it gets too extreme. So my purpose and mission with helping people is to find a new normal. You can sometimes have a glass of wine, you can also have a piece of cake, but it has to be like in a balance, and you have to be active. I'm focused so much on being active, because what I see is people don't move at all. They drive the car, they're sitting down, they order food and clothes and whatever online. The lifestyle is so comfy, they don't move at all. They gain weight just even eating normal food, because their energy expenditure is so low because they don't move at all. Their mental health is bad. They sleep worse because they're bad, because they don't use their body. I'm focused so much on being active, not only being active in the gym, but take the bike, take the stairs, walk every day. People are sitting and sitting. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit more about still your story, that you started personal training and at some point you opened a gym. How did your kind of thought process go with being personal trainer, starting to get clients and not becoming consultants, even if your parents would think that's the right
exactly.
one? And how did this all things go and lead to?
It's because as I told before, I lived in London, and that's 25 years ago. I was studying, and in London they had like fitness clubs where it was nice. It was like a nice smell. You can have fresh fruit, you could have towels, nice cozy music, and you saw the fitness clubs definitely in Denmark was like more like coming from the bodybuilding. It was more machines, and there was no this. It was more for men, I think. Also, it was no like luxury. It was not like hanging out. Nice sofas, and in London they had that. And then when I was finished my master in the human resource and also completed mostly part of my physiotherapy, I said to myself, and I had a lot of really nice clients, and I thought, why don't I just open a gym here? And there's one hotel in Denmark is called D'Angleterre. It's a 5-star hotel, and it's like for 100 years the finest hotel in Copenhagen. And they had a swimming pool, but apart from that, they didn't actually have anything. And I just called them. Many people ask me, how did you get that contract? And sometimes when I'm trying to coach young people, you just have to think it, and then you just have to do it. Because I just called them and told them who I was, and told them, I have got this idea. Why don't you make for the first hotel in Denmark a luxury spa with really customized personal training, nutrition counseling, physiotherapy? And they're like, oh, I said all nice hotels in London and New York and other big cities that have a really good gym and wellness area. Oh, they said, oh, that's a good area. That's a good idea. Can you maybe make like a perspective about it? And then I sat down and used my business eyes, and I made it complete with pictures and took notes from all the kind of homepages for the big hotels around the world, what they offered, and I said, that's what we can do. And they said, that's a really good idea. And then we had to fight for a while about the contract, because it was very expensive to build this kind of spa and fitness. But then I was there for 10 years, and they were having a reconstruction and only wanted more wellness. And I said, but I want 50% wellness and 50% fitness. So then I built my own place just next to the hotel, actually.
All right.
200 meters from the hotel.
All right. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So it's a very high reputation hotel. They could have done it without you, just kind of take your idea.
Yes.
Why do you think they wanted to keep you there? How did you get the contract? What was the things to negotiate and so on?
I think, since then I've had a lot of proposals from other hotels if I want to open, but I don't. Now I have 4 kids and I don't want to work that much. But it's like you can make a better business if the one you have, like the manager and the owner, knows about the body and the skin and the health. And I can see other spas in Copenhagen are owned by business people. You can see that in their brand. The brand is owned by business people. It's not a bad brand. It's not like I'm saying my brand is better in that way, but it's just my brand is about helping people. My brand is about de-stressing, feeling good in the body. The concept about my spa is not like you can have nails done or brows done. It's only like focused on massage and on organic products. So that's just like combined with the physiotherapy as well.
And then you started kind of personal training, and what what is the coaching now? What kind of package you offer? What kind of coaching packages you have, and what's the
Yeah, I
most
see.
popular?
When I
Yeah.
start, yeah, I also think one of the reasons why I got well started back then is because personal training was something new. I think we were only a few personal trainers in Denmark, and I took all my knowledge from the States and came back to Copenhagen. And now there are, of course, a lot of personal trainers in Copenhagen and other big cities around the world. But at that time, I was one of the only ones. In the beginning, it was more simple clients. People just want to get fit or want to lose weight. And since I've grown my brand, I have a lot of executives, have both men and female. I have a lot of people who are not like, I also have some people who are sick and want to have advice working out, having new hips, new knees, whatever. But people who also want advice when they get older. Yeah, when they're like, not like injured, but you have a sore back or something with your ankle, so you can't run anymore, so you don't feel comfortable with going to a normal gym, so they really buy more money to get a trainer with more experience that can customize their training.
Yeah.
So I built my whole brand on doing, again, inspiration from the States, where back then they made like boot camps. And of course, I really, really have wanted through the last 10 years to take off the word boot camp, because at that point, boot camp was just a word for being hard training. And if the boot camp in my company is a combination of nutrition counseling. It's based on a physical analysis, the body, the core muscles, the back strength, your posture. It's based on, I do use this SenseWare, so I can see when people sleep, how many hours they sleep, how many hours they're sitting, standing. That's also a part of the analysis. And then they do the personal training, like a product of that. So it's like a personal training package for 12 weeks. So it's quite intense, but they only work out 3 times a week. And then it's based on the analysis, but a lot of coaching. They're sending me photos of everything they eat during the day. I have a phone only with this nutrition counseling and also coaching, how to be on track and how to change their behavior. And then they have business dinners or too many meeting sittings. How do they succeed with changing their habits and so on. So it's a combination of testing, personal training, nutrition counseling, and a lot of coaching as well.
Yeah, sounds interesting. And how do you?
And then what is funny for me is like I have a lot of people who have major success in life with their job or a lawyer, but they're lacking on the balance in their health. So maybe I can say to my parents, I am a consultant. I'm just a body consultant. Yeah. So I really think it's really interesting because people have so much success with what they're doing, but they don't succeed in the balance of their health.
Yeah, it makes sense. And probably, how do you reach the executives? Like in your marketing, is it word of mouth that they have heard good words?
Yeah, it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. People get recommendations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds very good. And maybe, as this is a physical activity podcast, maybe we can talk about the sedentary behavior and physical activity. What kind of problems? Probably it's a lot of sitting, not enough activity. But what is the most common problems? How do you approach them? How do you start to change the behavior?
Yes, I think the major actually challenge is that what people feel happens doesn't happen.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean. I feel active. But that's a feeling. So I'm listening a lot and I want them to describe their lifestyle. And then before I meet them the first time, they come to my fitness and they get this wear sensor I use. They have on their leg for like 7 days just to see like a normal week. And then I have the data analyzed when they come to the first introduction, when they're with me for the first testing. So part of the testing, as I said before, is to test the physical activity level. Then I also analyze their nutrition, and then I analyze their body. And then we're going to make a strategy from there. And why are they here? What do I want to obtain? And what do I think they should have as a goal? Because sometimes the goal is also wrong. Sometimes I agree with the goal, and sometimes I don't agree with the goal. But I cannot tell you how many people I have who I start, okay, can you describe to me how the week was you were wearing the sensor before we met? Oh, yes, yeah, it was a very active week. And okay, can you describe in words what you did? And it's because people think the brain is a muscle. And I'm telling them the brain is not a muscle. So you can feel exhausted, and I have people who are in demanding jobs, have to make solutions, make difficult decisions, and then you have to run home and cook for your teenagers. I understand people feel they're running. So they have the feeling they're running, but it's a mental feeling. They are running because they're running in out of meetings and from A to B all day. So they are running. So they come home and they feel so tired because I've been so active all day. And I used so much time on, how can I say, to tell them what is the difference between feeling mental tired, mental running, and physical tired and physical running. That's a major mission of my program. And so I tell them I also have a cancellation, what do you call it? I calculated how much do they burn when they sleep 7 hours. I just add their kilo of weight and the med value, and then I add it while they're sitting working all day really hard, 8 hours. And then they can see, of course, depending how big the person is, it's maybe 115 calories difference. So I say, so the feeling you have of running all day mentally doesn't affect your energy expenditure. And they're like, oh, I can really see that. So that's a major point. Yeah, so that's the one thing. So sometimes the major part of the conversation the first time is to make them realize what they feel is not happening. It's not happening physically. And it was really funny. I had this really top executive businessman, and I said to him, I said the same thing every time. And I said to him, can you describe the week? And he said, yeah, I'm so excited. It was a really good week. And the report was like 0. It was really almost nothing. And I said, oh, okay, can you tell me what happened? Yes. I went to a spinning class 3 times last week when I had the sensor. And I said to him, you are a businessman. You have been wearing this sensor for 24 hours for 7 days. And he said, yes. And the spinning classes were like not a completely hour. It was like 52 minutes. Of course, they have to get on the saddle and then they've been spinning. And that was almost the only thing I could see. Apart from that, he's been working below 3,000 steps a day because he's driving a car, sitting down. He's got somebody to clean, somebody to do his garden. So he's got no steps. And I told him that, when you study at university in Denmark, you get a fee from the state to study, and it's really low fee. Just, to get pasta with ketchup-ish, there's no money. And I told him, that's your budget. And he was drinking the most expensive wine, and I said, you understand numbers. You cannot afford it. That's why you're so obese.
Yeah.
And he said, oh my God, I can see that. And he also told me he's been trying to lose weight himself. And he ate almost very little, and he only lost a little bit of weight. And I said, imagine you are a car. You didn't drive your car off the garage. He said, oh yeah, I can really understand that. I love my sensors because it makes the consultation 100% customized. And I had another businessman last week. He was quite active actually. But he was eating, again, business meeting, whiskey and stuff. So he was actually normal active, but he ate like he was an athlete in the Olympics. So these measurements can really customize the advice I give. But mostly people are inactive.
Yeah, I really like when you said the mental running. I think, it's a great phrase, the mental running. And it's also people don't often understand that when you are mentally tired, if you actually go for physical activity, you become refreshed, you have more energy. And it's kind of counterintuitive that you just need to know that you need to go out and you will feel more energetic. It doesn't make
Exactly.
sense, but that's what happens.
No. And that's what I tell them, because I think a lot about physiology and the body is quite logical. But the thing about energy is not logical. You feel tired, but then you lie down and you maybe eat more, and then you go to sleep. You don't sleep that well, and because you've been inactive and only have 3,000 steps, and then you wake up next morning and you need more coffee. To get energy.
Yeah.
So I tell them I don't find it logical as well.
Yeah.
But you need to look at the numbers and think about your mental health and your physical health.
Yeah.
And also because this about, of course, physical health and being normal weight is interesting. But I also tell them, please remember about the effect on your mental health. So you get more energy, because I meet so many people who use all their energy at work. If they're honest with me, they say, Lotte, I use all my energy at work. Of course I do. That's my job. I need to perform. And I come home and I really wish my husband or wife or kids don't ask me to make another new project or go out because I don't have more energy. So being healthy, I'm telling, is also to have energy to do what you want to do in your life. It's not like the small amount of energy you have, you only use at work to make money to pay for your house. And then you don't have energy for going to the library or going to a museum or whatever because you're just tired. And that makes sense for them. So also focusing a lot on the mental aspect of being active.
Yeah, makes sense.